At one point I was, maybe one of the best Quake players in the world. I've played a lot of video games.
Shooting rockets into space, making e-vehicles, starting a new department of the government. I actually let myself think maybe he actually is an alien.
Okay, dude, okay, come on, stop glazing the guy. Let's be real. Look, I don't hate Elon Musk, I just don't get all of the glazing. He buys his tech and pretends to build it, so why wouldn't he buy his gameplay and pretend to play it? What's up guys, I'm d-cell, and today I want to do something a little different. You may or may not have heard already Elon Musk getting blasted all over the internet for faking his gameplay and trying to pretend to be some kind of hardcore gamer for some reason. I don't know, ego probably. But I found this just hilarious and I found it pretty interesting and I want to talk about it. As always, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the video. If you love it, if you hate it, let me know all of that. If you like the video, smash that like button as it helps me out. You like me, you like my channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. And we do have a Discord if you want to interact with me in between videos. There will be a link down in the description below. But let's get right into it.
So let's start off with some context. Elon Musk's character is currently level 97, aka rank 12 on hardcore, that's permanent death mode, Trade League. Let me try to give you a quick understanding as to how hard it is to get to that level. 2 weeks into the league, when people are playing the game, literally they're staying up 40 to 50 hours without sleeping, only playing Path of Exile, and they are the most try-hard guys in the world. The highest ranked player on the Hardcore Trade League was level 93. Okay, and you're thinking about yourself, that's kind of close to 97. Every time you level it up, it becomes exponentially harder to gain experience. A lot harder and a lot harder. Okay, so these players, to get to 97, have to be playing the game every day for the majority of their day.
I think this is one of the best points of the video, to be honest, as it takes an extremely long time to level that far up. Like, we're talking hundreds of hours. We're hours upon hours of dedicated, and not just dedicated, but efficient grinding of maps and experience. So how are you gonna run several businesses, doing work for the government and interacting with foreign governments and still find the time to, level out like hundreds of hours worth of experience? Let's just say my doubt meter is off the charts right now.
Which immediately is a little bit of a red flag, because I don't know why you would refer to yourself in third person, but okay, he does that. Elon Musk didn't play Path of Exile 1. In Path of Exile 2, maps are actually called waystones. And he never actually refers to them as maps, he calls them...
Play another round here. This is a hard level, Waystone.
So it's just kind of weird that he's, again, called his tab Elon's map. So almost like someone who's a Path of Exile 1 veteran, is kind of making that tab and be like, Elon, there's a tab there called Elon's Maps.
All right, I don't think this one is like a massive self-report or anything, like having the stash named after himself, because honestly, Elon he's kind of a weird guy, and I could 100% see him naming himself in the third person, like in his own video game. After all, this is the guy who wants to name everything X. He tried to name PayPal X. He did name Twitter X, and he's got a company called SpaceX. This is the guy who wants to like jump up and make the X, while he's on stage and stuff. So he's a little bit of a weird guy, and while it is kind of sus that it does look like somebody else was naming this for him, I am willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
He's just clicking a map repeatedly, trying to access it. He was not eligible to enter that map.
I just want you guys to understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
Anyone who's level 97 is, and we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. Why just like sitting there like some sort of geriatric old man clicking this node expecting something to happen, and then he finally kind of gives up after a while and then realizes his mistake.
Okay, in fairness, I believe Elon's like 52, 53, somewhere around there, so I could definitely see a little bit of brain fog kicking in, like where do I go? It's kind of hilarious, but you would assume that somebody who has done thousands of maps would not only know the UI and know where to go, but at this point, they would be pretty darn efficient at what they're doing. For example, in Path of Exile 1, I have a character, he's only like 72, and I've only done maybe 30 or 40 maps, and I'm pretty efficient at doing what I need to do. And somebody who has spent like 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 times more in doing the same thing, you would think that they would be way more efficient than me, right? So like, that's the thing here is, yeah, like, come on, dude, you're playing like you're still in the tutorial, and supposedly you're some like super based hardcore gamer, like, yeah. And the video goes on to talk about how Elon virtually has no inventory management. He drags and drops everything. He still has things on the default setting and apparently doesn't know how to use mana flasks. Now, none of these things are consistent with what you would consider to be at the top level of elite play, like elite hardcore play.
And he starts killing monsters. He starts obliterating monsters with his character. But what becomes obviously apparent,
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Is like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs. He just ran past the Chaos Orb.
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs, just so you guys understand.
So in Path of Exile, the devs are these evil guys, and they talk about feeling the weight, and they effectively just drop tons and tons of items, and you have to know what to pick up. So what GGG have done, the people who make the game, they've made this system called loot filters, which gets rid of 90 to 95, even in some cases, like we're talking 98% of all loot that drops, because otherwise your screen is just cluttered. And you won't even notice when you get a good drop. It's unfathomable for someone to be in the top ranks without a loot filter.
This is probably the runner-up for the biggest self-report in the video, as not only did he run past the Chaos Orb because he had no idea what it was, he's also running with no loot filter. And running with no loot filter when you're like a top rank elite player can literally lead to crashing your game. It can crash your computer because there is so much clutter on the screen. Like when you go through and you're blasting a map, there is so much clutter without a loot filter, it literally can crash the game. So this is pretty telling in my opinion.
Maps can effectively have different content on them, and that content will be signified by icons on the map. So it could be a map which has an expedition in it, a breach in it, or it could be corrupted. Elon starts looking through the atlas, and he finds a map with, I kid you not, 4 things on it.
There are 4 things there. So this one has a real risk of dying.
4 things. What are those things?
God, dude, 4 things. It's 4 things, dude.
So this one has a real risk of
Not
dying.
this far in the game and calling it 4 things. Stop, bro. Dude, stop.
So his inability to properly talk about the map system, it is a little bit sus. However, I'm not going to hold this one to him because, again, he is in his 50s, and it's not inconceivable that he would have a hard time thinking of describing things off the top of his head. Talking to a stream or talking to a camera is a different world than talking like in person or talking in front of a crowd. These are 2 different skill sets, so I can definitely see somebody struggling with that, so I'm not going to hold this one against him.
I did not even get to the worst part. In Path of Exile, gear has requirements to equip it, but that has nothing to do necessarily with how good it is. For example, one of the most powerful and best items in the game is a level 1 required to equip staff, which is maybe, I think, even the most meta build in the game right now. It's super, super broken, insane damage. And Elon Musk starts going over his gear.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade league. You cannot even buy it. Insane weapon.
These affixes are, I'd hate to say perfect, but they might be perfect. Yeah, tell us how bad the item that only drops from the highest difficulty of the hardest boss. Just tell us that it's only level 52. Did you find this at level 52? That's impressive.
Level 52 here.
They can only ever be level 52. Bro, Elon Musk is a fucking fraud, bro.
I think the fact that he doesn't know how good his gear is, I think points to somebody else playing this account and him not actually doing it himself. I think this is very indicative of somebody like controlling the account and playing the account and setting it up for him to record later. He legit has like a perfect weapon he has like boss gear and he doesn't even recognize it. Someone at that level would definitely recognize those things. And not only that, somebody at that level would know the trading economy of the game. They would know how to spot great gear, what makes great gear, like what goes, like what affixes and stuff like that. So the fact that he doesn't understand like how good the gear is, I think is very, very telling that he has no idea what's going on in the account that he supposedly built.
And if you needed any more proof that Elon is 100% boosted, he was playing the game today inside of maps blasting while simultaneously on a X space talking to like some far right wing part of some German government. I don't know, some political bullshit. Okay, I guess he's just that much of a god gamer.
There is so much more to this video, and if you want to watch the whole video, the link is in the description down below. But come on guys, is anyone really shocked here that a billionaire who buys everything so he can roleplay as a philanthropist engineering genius would then turn around and pay somebody else so that he could roleplay as a hardcore gamer? Overall, I find this whole thing silly, fascinating, but silly. But what are your thoughts on it? I think there's no way that his account's not boosted. This is totally a fake account. He has no idea what's going on, which is fine. He should just come out and say, hey, look, I don't have time to play it. I'm still stuck on Act 1 of the campaign or whatever. And I think everybody would be fine with that because, like, hey, you're running all these things. Of course you don't have the time for it. I think it's just super, super silly to like try to go through all these links to try to like seem like you're such a hardcore gamer when you're not. Like, it's not that big a deal, man. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. And thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You're awesome. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.